What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Midas channel. As you can see here, I'm in the middle of installing the USP upgraded downpipes and cats. And if you've been watching the last few videos, you've already seen what I've done. And but if you're new here, I'll go over it a little bit. You can see I wrapped the downpipes, and I had an extra set of headers. So I ceramic coated and figured out how to wrap them. And you can compare right here. This one, the USP one, is actually for the Mark V R32. It's similar, but I think the only difference I'm gonna have to make is this rear pipe is a little longer. So I'm gonna have to cut that to get it to fit. Probably cut the end and have it welded. We'll shorten it and have it to be able to have everything to fit. Other than that, it looks like everything might bolt up, except those hangers maybe might have to be moved also. And if so, I'll just bolt everything up, cut them off, take it to the shop and have them welded in the right place. They're pretty similar, but I took some measurements and they're real similar. The USP is a little bit bigger in a few spots. Let me see here. I got this caliper gauge where I can see. This is 1.94. Yeah, the USP won't even fit. The USP is 2.01, so it's like they said, 2-inch. Back here I think it's supposed to be 2.5, but when I measured, the USP was actually a little bigger. I think the TT mid is about the same. Let me see. It's 2.5 on the dot. USP looks like, it feels like it's about the same. 2.49. Let me see. I squeezed it. And 2 point. Oh, I see what's happening. It smashes out. It flattens down a little right here, and it opens up some. Then it goes at 2.5 back there. So they're about the same in the back. Just a little bit bigger right here. The USP is a little bit bigger right there in the mid pipe. So let me put this up. Also, if you knew what I did to these, I also ported these. I gasket matched them. Get you so you can see a comparison. You can see I gasket matched this to that. So I open it up that much to the gasket. You can see there's a little bit bigger. And I did it on the port side too. Opened it up, I gasket matched it also. And you can see on the stock one where the exhaust gas is actually hitting it. So opening this up to gasket match is going to actually let it flow a little better. And I also went into the ports a little bit to open it a little bit more too. And of course, you see I heat wrapped and ceramic coated it, so it should perform a little bit better. Let's see what else. First I was only gonna just put the exhaust on, but when I got in here, I was like, might as well go ahead and do everything. So I'm gonna change the valve cover gasket. I went ahead and got the upgraded PCV from RKX to put in there. And I'm also gonna change the timing chain tensioner, just because this car has about 150,000 miles. So I hear that some of these cars, the rails and chains and everything will be good, but that tensioner, that hydraulic tensioner, you can see it right there on the back. I don't think the camera's getting it, but it's like right there. Well, you can't see it, but they go bad, and I've seen some people change these and have some noise go away. I'm not really getting any noise. I can hear a little bit sometime, but I think it's actually the the DSG flywheel, because I've been launching hard on this thing, and got the 034 tune for the DSG, so it launches harder. So but anyway, the other things I'm going to be doing is you can see the heat shield here. This, when I took this off, this is pretty thick already. It's pretty thick, but to further help with some heat, I'm going to put some of this DEI heat screen under here to help it reflect heat back a little bit more. So with that, it should be a dramatic drop from that exhaust heat getting up, you know, because the intake sits right over it. The plenum actually sits like right here, right over it. And I noticed when, if you look at the last video I did, I took some temperature readings. This was the exhaust manifold, even with the heat shield over, was getting up to almost 300. So you could imagine, like, if you're doing a track day, or if you're out, go to a show and do some drag racing or something, that time that you're sitting, it's just heating up and getting heat soaked and everything. So another place I measured was right here in the front where the intake comes down, the runners come down. That gets hot because it's closer to the head, and then what I'm guessing is when the fans come on, it's blowing hot air onto it. So another mod I might do, you can see right here on the intake side, has these vents going through it, and you know, directs air up here to go into the air box. But it has the same thing over here, they're just closed. So I'm probably going to open those up, so I'll have some more cool air going through the motor to help keep things cool. It's a plastic intake, but it doesn't, you know, absorb heat like a metal would, but that radiant heat coming up does get it hot. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that same DEI wrap and put it under there, put it under on the underside of the intake to help keep the radiant heat from, like, the valve cover and everything else from getting in there, help it keep from heat soaking. All right, that's it for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and clean some of this stuff up, probably pressure wash around the motor, and get ready to install everything. And then I'll come back, shoot some more video, let you guys know how everything fit, and then we'll do some launches to see, like, what kind of performance gains I get, and if it feels like it's launching any harder, any faster. I think it should, from what they claim, so we'll see. Just want to show something here real quick. I decided to go ahead and clean these because it's like every other one had a lot of oil caked in it. Not really deep, but I mean, not really built up, but it was more than the long runners. So you can see right there. Let me turn the light on for you. There you go. You can probably see right there. Every other port, the valves are, you know, is a shorter port, so you can see the valves right there and they look pretty clean. But this one's longer, but for some reason the short ports had a lot of buildup in them where these don't, the longer ones don't. So all I did was I just took a wire brush and I scrubbed it, and I just went in and wiped it a few times with some tissue. Then I just sprayed it, and I sprayed it with some cleaner, and then just went in with my finger around it, and you can see it came pretty much clean right there. So I'm gonna do that to the rest of these and finish cleaning the engine bay. I just got through a pressure wash and everything. It came out really clean. And Check out the back of the motor, everything, and clean the back of the head too, just to make sure everything you know, bolts up clean, no leaks or anything. And I don't know if you see this right here, that's a knock sensor. And the factory exhaust gas, it has a heat shield to go over that, so I just put a little bit extra of the DEI on this, a little scrap piece I had, to help protect it even more, make it last a little longer. All right, I got one of them on. I put both headers on, and I put one of the pipes down, and the little hanger lines up. I just didn't push it all the way in yet, but it does line up, so it looks like I won't have to cut those. Just want to show something real quick that I ran into with getting these off, and I saw other people had a problem with this. When you're doing these, take the driver's side off first, this one over here, because there's a nut down here that's hard to get to, this one in the back here. But if you take this one off first, you see you got a lot of room over here now. Then you can get a wrench on there like that to get to it and get it off. It's going to take a lot of force. These are real tight, but just a little word of advice. You know, take the passenger side off last, you know, take driver's side off first, and you got all this room, and then you can get to that nut back there in the back on the downpipe to get that off. All right, it's got late now, it's like nighttime. Probably would have been done with everything, but of course I've got OCD with everything, cleaning everything, make sure everything's clean. When I took the valve cover off, the valve cover was like real clean. This was just like that. The only dirty part, well, I would say had some oil on it, was this part right here where the PCV setup sits. So when I took that out, I just cleaned all that out. But just want to show the RKX upgraded diaphragm. This one wasn't torn, there was nothing wrong with it, but you can see how thin this thing is. It's just real thin. In fact, when I went to take it out, I went to pull it out, and it tore when I was coming out. It just tore right there. Of course, the rest of it tore when I was taking all this out with the screwdriver, whatever. But you can feel how much thicker this one is. I think this one is silicone, whereas this one is, I don't know what it is, but it's real thin. I'm surprised it doesn't fail more frequently. But I guess the way it works in this motor, maybe it doesn't. But trying to get this out, it didn't just pull right out. It sits in there like that. And I watched some other videos where people just pull it out, but it didn't work like that. So what I did was, you can see this little notch right there. And this little notch right here lines up with that. So all I did was, I just put a screwdriver through here in that notch, and I pried up on it. Then this lifted up, and I was able to just get it out the rest of the way with a flat head and everything, and just pull it right out. So I went through and cleaned this out, all the oil and everything. And I heard that some people had problems with this RKX because it's thicker, but I know that they have a few different ones for a few different 3.2 liters and 3.6 liters, and you got to make sure you get the right one. You can feel this one is thicker, but it's still pretty thin, but you can feel that it's stronger than that. And so I don't know if people have problem putting these in, or maybe they're putting them in wrong, but this little spring right here just goes in this little groove just like that, and you can actually feel it pop in when it goes in. And then so I guess you just go, you know, take it with your fingers, go all the way around, and making sure that it's sitting in that groove in there. And then you just put this spring on. I'm trying to do all this with one hand, but that just goes in there like that. I can't do all this with one hand, but that goes in there like that. Then you just put the top back on, you snap it back on. It has a little recess right there. You can see where it just slides in. You just got to make sure everything lines up. And once you get that in, you'll just replace this gasket right here. Make sure it's in that and just press it in. Then everything goes in there, and that's it. So nice little upgrade for that. Should last a long time. Tonight I'm gonna go ahead and line the inside of this with this heat screen. It's a self-adhesive on the backing of it. So I'm gonna put all that in tonight, and then I'm gonna mask off the valve cover. I just need to put tape around this and some tape around that, because I'm gonna paint it. Still not sure what color I'm gonna paint it, but I'll know that. So I just finished painting the valve cover. I'm about to put it through the heat cycle and let it bake a little bit. Then I got the valve cover off and everything. I'm sorry, the intake manifold, but I gotta tape everything off on it. Then I'm gonna paint that, and should be putting everything back together. You guys, check out my little makeshift oven. It's a little ghetto, but it gets the job done. Just got through going through the baking process. This paint was all right. I used the VHT engine paint. I did the whole steps, the primer, the paint, and the clear coat, but I don't like the way it came out. The red is a little bit different than the caliper paint, and usually I use the caliper paint, so I just wanted to be a little different this time, and I should have just used the caliper paint. The VHT caliper paint is a little better to me. It lays down a little better. You can get everything better, and even without a clear coat on it, it looks good. But this is how I do. I get a box. You can see the 2 bricks under it to lift it off the ground. Little heat gun. Cut a little hole back there in it, and close the lid and everything and let it go. This was only had to get up to 200 for an hour, and it got up to a little bit over 200. So, but it just finished, so I'm gonna just let it cool off and put the PCV and everything back in it, and then I should be able to be ready to put it back on the motor and everything. All right, you guys, I got everything taped off on the manifold last night so I could tape it. So I could paint it. I see why painters charge so much. It's all the prep that you have to do. See, I had to tape everything off. Also put the heat shield on the back of the manifold, on the other side of the manifold, that heat screen I was telling you about. Then I had to cover it with tape so it doesn't get paint on it. So, all right, I'm gonna paint this and then I'll get back with you guys. But you guys, I got it all painted up. See, it's starting to wrinkle up already. I went with the wrinkle because I wanted it to match the wrinkle on the air box. Then of course, I went with the red valve cover to be under it, and that kind of matches the coil pack covers. Oh, and here's the heat shield for the headers, and then of course I already got them wrapped and everything. And I did check the timing tensioners and all that. Well, the rails, they weren't really worn at all, very light. So it looks like maybe the timing was done on this car. Whoever had the car before took real good care of it. Like I said, when I took the valve cover off, it was real clean on the underside. It was basically like that. See, I got a little paint on it, but it was basically like that. And I've seen some of these taken apart, and there's all kind of carbon everywhere, but this motor looks pretty good. It's in pretty good condition. All right, I'm gonna start putting everything back together. I already did the gasket, put the new PCV in and everything, and I'm gonna start putting the covers and all that back on and start getting everything back together. All right, I'll get back with you guys. All right, you guys, I went ahead and recoated the manifold, because the first time I did it, I just let it air dry, and it wrinkled up, but it wasn't big wrinkles like this, kind of like how the air box is. So I just recoated it thick, and I'm hitting it with the heat gun now, and it's coming out a lot better. It kind of matches the heat box. So it looks way better now with the heat gun. I almost wasn't gonna do it and just throw it on, but now I'm glad I went ahead and recoated it. All right, I'm back at it. I'm decided to go ahead and do the spark plugs while I'm at it. I took these out, and they were the original factory plug. And they're not really bad, but I decided to go ahead and change them anyway. When I checked on at the local AutoZone, they had these NGK Iridiums, and I know a while back when I was checking, they only had the platinum plugs, but now they got these NGK Iridiums, so I'm running those. I noticed that the electrode is the fine tip wire is a little bit finer than the factory plug, so should be a little bit better ignitability with them. I had these Polestar Iridium plugs for a while that I was gonna try, that a company sent me, but I don't know. I gotta do some more research on it before I run those. I heard of another 3.2 liter TT that ran them. I was watching YouTube a while back, and you know, he didn't really go into detail about them, but he was just talking about his build, and I heard him say that he ran these plugs. So I don't know, I gotta do a little bit more research before I run them, or if I run them. So right now I'm just going with some a set of NGKs. One thing you guys, when you guys do your plugs, you want to do is get some of this dielectric grease, and you can either take some on your finger and put it on the plug here, or the best thing to do is like maybe take a Q-tip and put some of the dielectric grease on a Q-tip and run it around in there to lube up the rubber to make it easier to come out next time, and then take some and put it around here. Because what I noticed when I was doing the valve cover gasket, I put a new valve cover gasket on. When I took the old plugs out, it was hard to pull them out because you could see the new seals for the gasket. It kind of bulges out. So when I was pulling up, this was getting caught on it. I had to like stop and pull like that, and you could imagine how hard it would have been to get that out if I still had the intake manifold on. So I took a little bit on my finger and just swabbed it around the seals too, and a little bit on this. So it'll be the same thing when I put these back. I'll put a little bit of the dielectric grease on that, and then just go from there. All right, you guys, the manifold is done. This is an extra manifold I had, and it was already missing this. I could take it off of the other manifold I had, but I think I have this somewhere. I'll just have to find the little Audi symbol. But it came out pretty good. Pretty much dry now. I went ahead and painted the throttle body with the wrinkle coat too, so I got that drying right now. But oh, and I went and got this damn hose that always breaks today too, to replace it right here because it broke. I barely touching the damn thing, snap. But this came out pretty good. I put all new gaskets in and everything. Check out the bottom now. Put that shielding over the whole bottom. So it should like stave off some heat. Plus I did the shield and everything. So, and of course the wrap and all that down there. So I'm gonna get ready to put this in and put the throttle bar, everything back together, and I'll come back and let you guys see how everything looks together. All right, you guys, I got everything done. One of the shops I go to was closed today. Matter of fact, two of them were. So it's Saturday today. It's been nearly a whole week. I started on this Tuesday, and because I wanted to just go, I decided to go ahead and do everything else. It took me all week, and you know, being OCD and clean and everything and all that type of stuff, and you know, all the little stuff in between, it took this long. But because I filmed so much stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right here. And on top of all that, it's a lot of police out tonight, so I can't really do any pulls anyway. But be sure to you know, give a like, follow, and subscribe, because I'm surprised at the difference that all of this made. I didn't think it was gonna make that much of a difference. And also the engine detail came out real good. So be sure to subscribe and check back in so you can see that. So give a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna put it up real soon. Matter of fact, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm gonna film it tomorrow. So I'll see you guys in the next video.